Chuck Crosby Law Office, Avery, moving out of Louisville to accept a new job in Little Rock, Arkansas. Avery, we are going to be sad to see you go. In this email, he says he's got an agent looking for a home for him in Little Rock. And he says he's going to end up buying it sight unseen except for a video walkthrough. He's wondering, is there anything he should put in the buying contract to protect his investment if he gets there and he finds that the home is in worse condition than he saw it in the video walkthrough? Now, I know, Chuck, you're not licensed in Arkansas, so let's just rearrange the wording here and says, let's say Avery's buying a home here in Louisville. What should the agent or Avery working with the agent put in the contract? Is there anything to protect him from something that's sight unseen?
Okay.
And I see Brad raising a hand.
Brad, go ahead, Brad. What's your take on that?
So hire a home inspector.
Hire a home inspector.
Because here's what happens in these situations, and we do this all the time. Hire a home inspector who can do a video walkthrough with you. Okay, we do these teleconferences, these video conferences a lot for people who say they're living in Texas and they're moving to Louisville. But the best way to do it is to go ahead, hire a competent home inspector, one that you've seen their report, they come recommended from the local agent, and that has the capability to do that walkthrough. That way you have the advantage of being able to look at the house, get the home inspector's report, because it's, I'm sure the agent is trying to represent them well, but then you can ask those questions. And then when he does get into town and closes on the deal, then he can oftentimes, we'll go back through the house with the new buyer, because sometimes they don't know how systems work. And, it's not uncommon for us to be asked by a buyer who does come in town, hey, can you walk me through the house? The home inspector should be happy to do that when they get in town. But I think I'm just going to do this shameless plug for the home inspectors wherever they are in the country. They're a big part of a relocation from another state or another area.
And that's the key here, doing your due diligence. How do I put a clause in a contract that says, hey, if I didn't do my due diligence, you're responsible? I'm not a fan of that. And if I represented the sellers, I'd say, don't you dare sign anything like that. But if you can, do the walkthrough and hire someone, a professional, that can walk you through with it.
I'd go one more step further. I think the information Brad gave you was great, Chuck, as well. I'd go one step further. If you can't get to the house before you purchase it, at the time that the agent is taking pictures inside and or with the home inspector, have the agent take pictures on the outside, not only of the house and the side of the houses, on the either side and the back, but scan the neighborhood. So stand on the front porch or right in the front door and have the agent take pictures of what you'll see if you look out your front door. Because the last thing you want to see is what a former client of mine who bought a house like this never had the agent do this. And when she got there, she was flabbergasted, because it was right across the street from a convenience store. And no one ever said it was across the street. So that's why I'm saying, if you have the agent stand in the site where the door is looking out, and then take pictures so you know what you're going to see. In fact, that would be a good idea from the back as well and from the sides, so you have a good idea.
That's a good point. It's the whole reason that photographic evidence is so difficult, is because, I can take a picture of this beautiful landscape in front of me, but what about the garbage dump behind me?
And don't forget, we've got a lot of other technology tools like Google Earth and Google Maps at our fingertips that allow you to see some of those aerial views, sometimes right down to the street level. May not be from this season, it may be a few months ago, but that's another good way. Hopefully, Bob, that would also, the question goes back to, how do you, as a local agent here, connect them with a competent agent in the city where they're moving to? We all have networks, right? And so hopefully you'd also be able to help guide them to a great agent in the market where they're moving to.
And that's a really good point. And I belong to a number of networks, and I see a lot of agents. In fact, we're working with an inbound buyer now that's looking for a home in Louisville that came through another agent in another city, and that happens all the time. And we go back out the other way. And the people we work with, we believe, are the best in the country in the business. So you're at least assured that you're going to have a reputable person. And one final thing, because we're almost out of time here, but you brought up a really good point. You guys are going to love this. So I do a lot of videos on real estate that's on YouTube and a variety of places as well. I had a client who he came to me because of my videos. And so he was moving out, I think it was Seattle, and he did the same thing looking for an agent in Seattle. And he goes out there to buy a home because I'm selling his home here. He goes out there to buy a home, and he comes back and he says, it wasn't so good. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, on video that this agent seemed like he knew everything and he was spontaneous and he was upbeat and energetic. He said, when I got out there, he was a dud. He said, I will never work with the guy. So be advised, both buyers and sellers, there's one thing being up and happy in videos, but when it comes to the real thing, you really need to meet the person in person and make sure you're happy with that person. It goes without saying, I think. And reviews also help as well for other people. So. Oh, this show went way too fast. Way too fast. All right, so my thanks to Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service and Team Bug Out. They do a great job both for getting homes, both new and resales, inspected, as well as getting rid of pests in your home. You can reach Brad at 844-411-TEAM. Also, Chuck Crosby. His advice is invaluable, and he does a great job as a real estate closing attorney, doing wills, living wills, and a variety of other things. And you can reach Chuck at 499-6360. And for me, if you are thinking of selling, folks, I'd love it. It's free. It's no obligation. I love what I do. And I really am, in person, I'm the same way I am in the videos. I'm upbeat because I love what I do. So you can reach me anytime. No home too big, no home too small. I work in Louisville, Southern Indiana, and surrounding counties. 376-5483. That's 376-LIVE. Or go to bobsellslouisville.com and then just put the information, hit submit. And for a free no obligation analysis of what your home is worth, easy enough, go to WeSellLouisville.com. Click on the top of the page. Coming up next week on our show, in preparation for Halloween, a fascinating 20 superstitious things that folks refuse to keep in their house and what it's all tied into. It's interesting. I've already done the research. All right, we're out of time. See you next Sunday. News Radio 840 WHAS.